What is going on, guys? It is Wrestlelamia here, back with another video. Join us now as we look at this week's edition of SmackDown, as well as the wildest news stories and rumors you need to know, including WWE star punished for leaking, AEW star to be sidelined through 2026, Ted DiBiase Jr. is finally free, TNA star calls out creepy fans, good news for Jimmy and Naomi, wrestling legend Dennis Condrey passes away at 74, plus much more. Be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell for daily wrestling videos, and follow us on Facebook for exclusive lists. As always, we won't recap the matches, but just look at the good, the bad, and the downright ugly. As always, we start off with the good. Number 1, slow build for Nick Aldis's in-ring return. Tensions between Nick Aldis and Drew McIntyre continued to escalate on SmackDown, with things taking a much more personal turn this week. The situation followed a chaotic moment earlier in the night when McIntyre assaulted Jacob Fatu in the parking lot before heading to the ring. Aldis eventually came out to confront him, clearly frustrated with McIntyre's recent actions, but McIntyre didn't hold back. He responded with a deeply personal remark, bringing Aldis's family into the situation and stating that his son Donovan should be ashamed of having what he called a corporate stooge for a father. At this point, a match between Aldis and McIntyre almost feels inevitable, with nearly a year of tension, shared history, and that classic authority versus rebel dynamic driving the story forward. Number 2, is WWE setting up a new romance angle? Alex Shelley and Chris Sabin picked up a key win over Fraxium in their rematch on SmackDown, but the real story came from how the match ended. With the referee distracted, Candice LeRae struck Nathan Frazier from the outside, allowing Sabin to secure the victory. However, Sabin had no idea the interference even happened, but Shelley saw everything and chose to stay silent. Shelley has been spending time trying to help Candice LeRae and Johnny Gargano through Gargano's recent slump, and that focus has started to create friction within the team. Sabin had already made it clear that Shelley needs to stay focused on the partnership instead of getting involved elsewhere. At the same time, there's another layer to this, the dynamic between Shelley and LeRae. With the two constantly crossing paths, WWE appears to be teasing a possible love angle, which could complicate things even further. Number 3, Jelly Roll shines in a big way. Jelly Roll's slam poetry battle with Kit Wilson was widely praised online, with many calling it one of the most entertaining moments of the night. It had energy, strong crowd engagement, and felt different from the usual WWE format. But the tone didn't stay light for long. Kit Wilson suddenly attacked Jelly Roll, dropping him with a flying corkscrew elbow from the top rope and shifting the segment instantly. That moment clearly set up Jelly Roll versus Kit Wilson for next week's SmackDown, as WWE continues building toward WrestleMania 42. And based on that direction, this likely doesn't stop at a singles match. All signs point toward a potential tag team match on the big stage, possibly Wilson teaming with Miz, while Jelly Roll could align with someone like Danhausen. Number 4, the real show stealer on SmackDown. SmackDown delivered a standout match as Carmelo Hayes retained his United States Championship against Ilya Dragunov, and about many fans are already calling a physical masterpiece. After the match, Hayes looked visibly shaken following the final bell, which quickly raised concern among fans online. Some even suggested he may have been concussed. As of now, however, no reputable outlets have reported any confirmed injury. Well, that was the good. What about the bad? Well, number 1, Randy Orton's heel turn backfires once again. Last week, Randy Orton snapped and launched a brutal attack on Cody Rhodes, bringing back shades of his 2009 Viper persona. The goal was clear: to re-establish him as a dangerous heel. But instead, fans embraced it. He was cheered throughout the segment, completely undercutting the reaction WWE was aiming for, and that reaction carried into this week. Orton came out to explain himself, but the crowd once again refused to turn on him. If anything, they leaned even further into supporting him. Later in the night, he attacked Matt Cardona, setting up a main event segment that made the situation even more clear. Orton called Cardona out, pretended to apologize, and even hugged him before dropping him with a low blow and an RKO. Security rushed in, but Orton still managed to drive a steel chair into Cardona's arm, and once again the crowd responded with chants of "Randy" and "one more time." Number 2, the interference fans knew was coming. The developments on this week's SmackDown followed a very familiar pattern for longtime WWE viewers. After what happened last week, many fans expected Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss to respond to the Bella Twins interference, and that's exactly what happened. The match between the tag team champions and the Bellas ended in a disqualification after Charlotte attacked Nia Jax as she attempted to use her title belt as a weapon. However, it was the champions who ultimately took control. Nia Jax and Lash Legend laid out both teams, standing tall as the segment came to a close. All signs point toward a triple threat or even a fatal four-way, with Bayley and Lyra Valkyria expected for a match at WrestleMania. Number 3, is Solo Sikoa about to be kicked out of MFTs? Tensions within MFT appear to be growing following their tag team title loss to Damian Priest and R-Truth on SmackDown. The loss, which came after interference from the Wyatt Six, has clearly created cracks within the group. Backstage, Solo Sikoa lashed out at the faction over what happened, but Tama Tonga didn't hold back and pushed back against Sikoa. Tama even suggested returning the Wyatt Six lantern, calling it a distraction and blaming it for the group's recent struggles. Tama told Sikoa he hasn't been acting like himself lately, even comparing his behavior to Roman Reigns. We've already seen how things played out when Roman treated the Bloodline the same way. It eventually led to betrayal and the group falling apart, and now this feels like a similar pattern starting to form. Well, that was the good and the bad, but what about the downright ugly? This week, nothing really stood out enough to fall into that category. SmackDown did a good job addressing several storylines on the road to WrestleMania 42. What did you think about the blue brand this week? Sound off in the comments below. Now, let's move on to the news. Now, our first story looks at a WWE star who was punished for leaking. Tama Tonga seemingly broke one of WWE's unwritten rules, and it didn't come without repercussions. According to Andrew Zarian, Tonga was hit with a significant fine after posting behind-the-scenes rehearsal footage online, something WWE has long kept off limits. Zarian noted that word backstage on SmackDown was clear: the fine was substantial. And there's a reason for that. While WWE talent often share locker room clips, travel footage, and even pre-show moments, rehearsals are treated very differently. These sessions can reveal key details like match structure, camera positioning, and planned spots, all of which risk exposing how the show is put together before it airs. In today's social media landscape, that's something WWE is especially careful to protect. WWE continues to encourage talent to build their presence online, but some boundaries remain firmly in place. And in this case, Tonga may have just learned that the hard way. Next up, Toni Storm could be sidelined through 2026. Just days after her brutal match against Marina Shafir at AEW Revolution, Toni Storm may be dealing with a serious setback. Following the match and her confrontation with Ronda Rousey, Storm was scheduled for a no-holds-barred rematch against Shafir on Dynamite. But just hours before the show, plans suddenly changed. Storm was later shown laid out backstage and was ultimately replaced by her partner Mina Shirakawa. According to Fightful, the change was due to Storm suffering an undisclosed injury. What makes the situation even more concerning is that there were no visible signs of injury during her Revolution match on March 15th. That has led to speculation that the issue may have happened during training in the days that followed, or it could be a pre-existing injury that was recently worsened. As of now, neither AEW or Storm have confirmed the exact nature of the injury, keeping details tightly under wraps. However, Fightful Select reports that AEW is treating the situation as serious, with internal belief that Storm may not be medically cleared for the remainder of 2026. If that timeline holds, it would mark a major setback for Storm, especially given the momentum she had coming off a high-profile pay-per-view appearance. Next up, Naomi and Jimmy Uso welcome baby boy. The joyous news was confirmed by Rikishi during a recent episode of his Off the Top podcast, and it quickly made waves online. Many fans celebrated the announcement, although some were surprised it came from Rikishi rather than the couple themselves. Rikishi also revealed that the newborn is his 16th grandchild. This marks Naomi's first child, while Jimmy Uso already has 2 children from a previous marriage. From everyone at Wrestlelamia, congratulations to Naomi and Jimmy Uso on welcoming their baby boy. Next up, Ted DiBiase Jr. is finally free. After nearly 3 years of proceedings tied to the Mississippi welfare fraud case, a jury found DiBiase Jr. not guilty on all 13 counts on March 20th. With that chapter now closed, he stepped outside the Thad Cochran United States Courthouse and addressed the media for the first time. "I believe they got it right, and I give all glory to God. I give all the credit to my Lord and Savior, to Sidney Lampton, Scott Gilbert, Eric Hirschman. I thank them. They all did an amazing job of portraying the truth. 7 years of being slandered and made to be something that is completely false has torn my family apart, but we're strong. I've had so many friends and so much family that have come around us. I'm proud that we've walked through this, and I'm so thankful that it's over." When asked whether he ever doubted how things would turn out, his response remained consistent. "I left it in God's hands, and whatever the verdict was today, I was okay with it. Man makes his plans, God directs his steps. It's just been so long that this cloud has lived over me. I'm just grateful for it to be over. I'm grateful that I get to go home to my children, and I will remain with them. I'm going to live again, and I'm going to continue to serve people because that really is who I am. I do care about every Mississippian. To all the doubters or haters or people that may have had false information and not all the information, I forgive you, and I love you too." After years of uncertainty, DiBiase Jr. now moves forward with a clean slate, focusing on family, faith, and life beyond the case. TNA star calls out creepy fans. Elena Black has publicly addressed a growing concern that has now crossed from online behavior into real-life boundaries being broken. Taking to Twitter, Black didn't hold back her frustration as she called out fans repeatedly showing up at her hotel, writing, "How many times do we have to have the fans showing up to hotels conversation? This situation goes beyond a one-off incident. Black has dealt with similar privacy issues before. Back in 2024, she urged fans to stop sending mail to her personal residence and even her parents' home, making it clear that all fan interactions should go through proper channels. However, the current situation marks a more serious escalation. Fans appearing at her hotel crosses a clear line from support into invasion of privacy. This is no longer just about over-enthusiastic fans, it raises real concerns about personal boundaries and safety in wrestling. Do you think this is becoming a larger issue in wrestling, or is it just a small group going too far? Let us know your thoughts below. And our final story covers the passing of wrestling legend Dennis Condrey at 74. Professional wrestling has lost one of its most influential tag team pioneers, as Dennis Condrey has passed away at the age of 74. The news was first shared by AEW star Dax Harwood, who also launched a GoFundMe campaign to support Condrey's wife Teresa with funeral expenses. Harwood clarified that Teresa did not ask for help, and that he started the fundraiser with her permission as a way to honor Condrey. He also personally contributed $1,000 to begin the campaign. Condrey was best known as a founding member of the Midnight Express alongside Bobby Eaton and Jim Cornette, where he captured NWA Tag Team Gold in Jim Crockett Promotions. Condrey held multiple titles across multiple federations throughout his lengthy career, which began in 1973. He retired in 2011. From everyone at Wrestlelamia, our thoughts are with his family, friends, and loved ones during this difficult time. There you have it, folks, the wildest news stories and rumors you need to know. Don't forget to leave your comments down below, and I'll see you next time, back for some more wrestling content.